right now at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda. Choose any new Mazda and get low 0.9% financing, or get 2.9% financing for 72 months on select new Mazdas. Move and be moved in your new Mazda with tremendous savings from Team Mazda on Airline.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
7:03 here on this Wednesday morning. We were just talking about nature versus nurture, and it's so interesting. All of us as individuals, it's so interesting to see nature versus nurture in families, especially among siblings, but especially for those who have children. I mean, Johnny, you come from a family with many siblings. You also know how nature versus nurture plays into how. And let me just preface this by saying all families have crazy in them. Oh. All families have crazy personalities in them.
Is Johnny the crazy?
No.
I think Johnny's are you the crazy?
I think you may be the most normal one.
I'm not self-defined crazy, but my siblings will have a different story. But like you said about your three kids, three different personalities.
Oh, yeah, very much.
All four of us kids in our family, totally different personalities.
Right.
Yeah. You ever
And the
wonder
nurture
that?
was the same.
Yeah.
The nurture
Same
was
environment,
the
but
same.
you know-
I'm the oldest of four.
Okay, I'm the youngest.
boy,
I'm the
girl.
youngest of four, and sometimes you ever wonder how you can even be related to your sisters. Like, how did we
Yes.
grow up in the same home?
Well,
Totally different.
What's interesting is me and my sister were talking about that yesterday. We did not grow up in the same home. I was adopted, but we were biologically siblings. So we were talking about yesterday how your parents were a different age when they raised you versus your sibling.
Right.
So they
Yes.
were different
Very much.
parents at the time they raised you too.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
when you factor
I
that
never
in their
thought
life,
about that. Well,
they were going through different things.
Well, when I was born, my mother would, if I dropped the pacifier,
Yeah.
my dad told me, I don't remember this, that she would boil it and then cool
Sanitize
it
it?
off. By the time
That
my
ended.
sister was there, she does this on her pants, back in the mouth.
Right.
Don't even here,
Such
take this.
different parenting, even in the same family.
That's how, my father was a bigger family, one of five. He's the oldest,
Yeah.
right? And I have an aunt actually who lives in town, the youngest of the five. And to your point, you just mentioned it, right? There's an age range there, and so the parents are parenting differently.
Yeah.
And I know look, our kids are only, like for me and my wife, just a few years apart from our oldest and now our youngest, the twins. And so even just with the 3 years difference, there's a little difference, but obviously each one of them is different in their own way, and you parent a different way a little bit there and there. You kind of cater a little bit to strength and push some of the weakness so you can get them to figure it out for themselves and learn with their own mistakes. But it's just very interesting to see them come out of their shells, figure themselves
And
out.
there's no
It's
instruction
amazing.
manual for your parents.
There used to be one. Now it's all like online, and I can't
Dr.
read it.
Spock had a book in the 60s, not Mr. Spock.
Yeah.
Dr.
Spock.
Dr. Spock.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to go through that.
It's
and learn.
crazy.
But isn't
The
that
parents
life?
are learning like the kids are
I'm
learning.
still
They
trying to
just
figure it out,
are,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But that's a beautiful process of life, is you figure that out day by day.
And it's always
Both of you are great parents, by the way.
Yeah.
try to be, but it's always when you think you have everything figured out that something reminds you that you don't have everything figured out.
Every day,
Humbling.
right?
Every day, every day.
Every damn day.
Man.
I always said it 100 times, and for those who've ever heard me speak, I talk about it all the time. I'm like, if I grow up to be half the man my father is, then I'll count myself lucky, and my family will be ridiculously. I'm still working on it. He was my absolute role model, still is, and my mom, though, the rock of the family, right? She was the one that always kind of, and that's the way it is in a lot of homes, a lot of houses, that kind of thing. You got that rock, and then you've got that other one who's just kind of out doing the thing, whatever. And I had I'm so lucky, and I know that, so lucky. And so we try to pass that on to our own kids. To your point, challenging. You learn every day.
Yeah, you got to toe that line. It ends up, sometimes the mother's the disciplinarian, and the dad just tries to be the cool dad. And sometimes my wife will be like, sometimes I'm the cool dad too much, and I need to like crack the whip a little bit
ebbs
too.
and flows, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Good words, ebb and flow.
Yeah,
Like it.
and I think the kids are the luckiest in that situation. Figure it out.
To your point, it's every once in a while my son Reed. Hi, Reed. Good to see you. I'll let him know. I said, here's the thing. I need you to get this done before your mom comes home and kills you, and I got to lie to the cops about what happened. So
it's good recon.
do this now.
Yes.
Save all of our lives.
Yes.
And typically that works.
Yeah.
You just made me feel better because I do that too.
Absolutely.
I was like, your mom's gonna be home in 5 minutes, so you need to get going now.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to hear
Funny,
it.
and when I was growing up, it was your dad's going to be home in
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Right. Isn't that interesting now?
Yeah.
Yeah. If it makes any of us feel better, nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody in life knows what they're doing.
Right? We're on that same boat.
Every day we're just figuring it out,
Same
aren't
boat,
we?
going
That
who,
is so
where,
true. You and I talked about that yesterday. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
We're just figuring
Figured
it
it
all out
out. We're
together.
along for the ride at some point.
Boy, aren't we?
Well, speaking of along for the ride, if you had a sale right now, your ride would be taken care of. It is.
Yeah, it's not as windy as it was last Friday. Last Friday was a nightmare with the wind.
We're going to see it pick up, so the afternoon commute might be bad. And, you know, we remind people, you do it all the time. The wind, it can knock you, if you're not paying attention, it can knock you just a little bit out of your lane, which is just enough there.
Both hands on the wheel today, this afternoon.
Both hands on the wheel. Matt Venezia has been doing a good job this morning talking about distracted drivers and how you really need to pay attention. And luckily, no rain to deal with, but you can see the winds. They're definitely whipping around out there, and they're already gusting where it's sustained at 16. And as the day goes forward, we're really going to see the winds pick up. Actually, it was not that bad yesterday. The high yesterday, 79. We're going to be significantly warmer than that the next couple of days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, record highs, 87, 89, and 90. That's respectively. So with forecast highs over the next few days in the upper 80s, we're going to give all three of those records a run for their money. Wind advisory in effect until 7 p.m. for good reason. These are what the sustained winds are going to look like, 20 to 25, but gusts as high as 35 miles per hour. So hang on to your hats there. We're not really dealing with anything severe here, but look at this, that big squall line starting to develop now, making its way towards the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and you've got tornado warning and watch boxes all over the place, and they are really going to have a rough go off to the north. Today in our neck of the woods, we're not expecting any rain, but look at this, highs still expected to get to the upper 80s over the next couple of days. This is what I'm talking about with that high bullseye. It's very rare that you see a high bullseye on the SPC map. Luckily, we're not worried about that, but around that Memphis area, that's just not the place to be for today. But we're going to have our own severe threat here on the weekend. Your Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon plans are good to go. Saturday night into Sunday morning, that's another story altogether, because that's when the front's going to be moving in. This is a really good front. This one is going to cool things down, but it could give us the chance of severe weather, particularly Sunday morning, and that's what you're looking at over here. We've got the slight risk here. Hopefully it's going to stay that way, and the SPC is not going to ramp it up. I got a bad feeling about that, though. And the farther north you go, it goes to an enhanced risk. Today, it's going to be dry but windy, starting in the 70s, working our way up to a high of 88 degrees, and staying about mostly cloudy to partly sunny throughout. Tonight and the next couple of nights, still very muggy out there, and lows struggling just to drop into the 70s. So in the 10-day forecast, it's basically a tale of two totally different forecasts, where the first half is very, very warm. The day of transition is the first alert on Sunday, and then the second half is looking fantastic. So once we get past this Sunday's severe threat, next week is going to look good. And I got to tell you, I think even beyond this, we're still going to be dry. Some of the long-range models have us dry all the way past April 15, 16. So that's good. I'm looking forward to that break. It's been too active the past few days, I think. 7:10. Johnny A., how's it going?
Doing pretty good on the interstate coming out of Denham Springs. It's our usual slowdown. I'll show you on the map in a minute. Major problems here earlier. That's right near the 1012 merge past Essen, and that is all cleared up now. Had an earlier crash with injuries. Our drive time out of Denham is Jubin to the 1012, half an hour now, and then we always see that. 8 minutes to the Amite River, another 12, and you're at Millerville, and from Millerville to the 1012, about 10 minutes. So that's about what we usually see in the 7 o'clock hour. Here's I-10 east and west right there from our Gordon McKernan first alert traffic camera at College Drive, and then the Acadian Thruway off-ramp all the way into the downtown area, looking pretty good. So we're starting to see a little bit of backup right here on LA1 as you make your way toward the Baton Rouge Bridge. We do have a crash, fender bender right here. This is going to be on Goodwood, right near Thurman Drive, you know, kind of where that is off of Airline. And then the slowest traffic from 12 is just at Pete's Highway, crossing the Amite River Bridge, past O'Neill, and it thins out a little bit when you get past Millerville. You're watching WAFB 9 News Now. We do it at 7 in the morning. We do it again at 3:30 in the afternoon on the Plus and on WAFB.com. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Before you go, I want to let you know we're working with authorities to get you the very latest on 2 shootings in Baton Rouge. Liz, 2 shootings, both of them deadly.
So let's take you back to Tuesday night here, where we're told that the coroner's office was actually called to the first scene right around 6:45 there. This is Stacy Drive there in Baton Rouge. We're told this is not far from Lamargie Avenue. We're told one person was shot and killed here, and police tell us they believe this victim was targeted.
The other shooting, about an hour later, Avenue E, they're telling us right now, the only thing we know about this one is it's an elderly man who died on the scene. Now, the authorities saying these two not related, they just happen to happen within about an hour of each other. We'll keep you in the know as the investigation pushes forward.
Today, we are awaiting some new details about a transparency website where taxpayers, you and I, can learn more about how taxpayer money is spent for K-12 public education. Today, you've got a press conference happening at 10 in the morning. State Treasurer Dr. John Fleming and State Senator Rick Edmonds will gather together there at the Capitol to talk about this transparency website and how it's going to look to you.
Hey, speaking of education, how about this? A career fair today in Livingston Parish. It's all about the public schools. Do you want to be a part of that system? And so they got a career fair for teachers, for librarians, for custodian, IT. It's a lot going on. You know what you can do? Hit the website, WAFB.com. You can schedule an interview. They all begin 4:30 this afternoon, Southside Junior High.
Hopefully by 4:30 this afternoon, that traffic will clear out for folks heading that way. That is the goal, Johnny.
Yeah, usually not that.
No.
Usually at 4:30 in the afternoon,
bit.
that's going to be I love the way you think. Always glass half full.
Always positive.
Always.
Always positive.
But no.
Yes. Yes. Naively, no.
That's a rough stretch.
Don't let that deter you. I mean, it hadn't deterred me. I get out in the middle of it too. So
in the thick of it too.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there's some big changes to some traffic patterns coming up regarding College Drive and some closures that are going to impact you leading up to that opening. Johnny's got it all.
I'll have that come in at 7:25 in just about 10 minutes.
And we'll talk about it as the week closes out as well, because that's when it's going to get sideways possibly.
Ooh, sideways.
No.
Watch that hair.
With tax returns coming in, the Team Automotive Group can help you maximize your refund's value. Choose from a huge selection of quality certified and pre-owned vehicles with over 90 priced under $20,000. Stop by and save at any Team location or log on anytime to teamautouse.com.